Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the score was 112-108, and the Lakers fall to the New York Knicks at home. And as you could probably tell by the tone of my voice, I'm a little extra perturbed with this particular game. The first half was a whole lot of fun to watch. The Los Angeles Lakers couldn't quite get a lead, though. You got to give the New York Knicks all the credit in the world for just being defensive hounds, closing out tight on the Lakers, playing excellent pick and roll defense, three perimeter defense. Got better in the second half for the Knicks. And they just rode Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett's scoring to the victory. You got to give credit to Isaiah Hartenstein, whose plus minus was absolutely out of this world. Scoring not as much, but interior defense is where he made his money. Rebounding the ball. He was just a menace, man. And I feel like a genius for calling his name out about 4 years ago on this channel when I first started talking basketball on this channel, telling you guys about him and continuously mentioning him all this time, but rarely saying his name correctly. But nevertheless, this is one of my picks basically for players that I thought would be pretty solid in this league before they made a name for themselves. And tonight he really made his name on the defensive end. So shout out to him. It was a Knicks night. I hate to really do that, but it was about them and their defense and ultimately their energy and their intent on not losing this basketball game. After losing 3 games straight, having been embarrassed against the Charlotte Hornets, and then, of course, the Clippers got them, and God knows who else is in between that got them as well. I think it was the Kings. They just decided they were not going to lose against us tonight, and they didn't. They played excellent defense. They pressed us from start to finish, and they played with a sense of urgency that we just did not match. So that was the story. Even though I had a lot of things to say about what we did and didn't do, at the end of the day, it was more so about what they did do, and that was them coming into our house with a lot of confidence and letting the defense and the rebounding do the talking for them. And I thought we were just outplayed tonight. We were outplayed by a team that took advantage of every bit of the mismatches that we allowed them to have. Took advantage of every bit of the inept shooting that we allowed ourselves to lean on. And so I guess that's where I'll start. Troy Brown is a player, I said, he's hot and cold. And I told you guys after the last time he had played a really good game, I told everybody, I'm like, this is a problem, though, because he plays 3 good games and three bad games. And he's such an inconsistent player that you have to monitor him closely, because if he's had a couple good games, the next bad game is right around the corner. And here we are. Darvin Ham leaned on him to an 0 for 8 night, 0 for 7 from behind the arc. And I'm going to tell you the truth, man. It wasn't too much more to it than that. He left him on the floor to shoot poorly. Same thing with Malik Beasley. He also didn't have it tonight. He was like 4 for 15 or some crap like that. When you lean on the cold hands, you're going to get what comes with that. And so that's what Darvin did for us tonight. He just played the cold hands and left him out there a little too long. Amongst other things, to be honest with you, that I thought were questionable down there. It was a situation where midway through the third quarter, we saw a glaring understanding of how much a good substitution can help your team, because we were down by 7 points, and then immediately we subbed Austin Reeves in, and within 40 seconds, we had erased that 7-point deficit. As soon as we got away from Austin Reeves once again, the deficit went back to where it was, and so it's like you don't see how that correlates, Coach. You sit up there and you see Troy go 0 for 8, and somewhere in the 6-minute mark in the fourth quarter, you think it's a good idea to put him back on the floor for any reason at all? Like, these are the type of things that just lead to your failures, why you lose. I thought, here's another thing that we didn't do very well tonight. Free throw shooting, 58%. And you look at Anthony Davis, he's 1 for 5. Bro, we can't win that way. First of all, we didn't get to the line enough to begin with. So you may want to look at the refs there. You may not, because I don't think we did enough dribble penetration to begin with. But considering the fact that we were leaning on 3-point shooters that weren't hitting shots, there you go. That's why. You don't put Lonnie Walker on the floor at all. He's one of your best slashers. You don't put him on the floor at all. Dennis Schroeder didn't get as many minutes tonight. He played Dennis all wrong. First of all, D'Angelo Russell started the game extremely hot. You got to give D'Lo all the credit in the world, and it may even get forgotten how well he started this game. He basically strung together almost 20 points in the first quarter almost. And he could not miss at all. I think it was 10 out of 11 to start this game. But our coaches thought it would be a good idea to sit him. No foul trouble, nothing at all, no reason. When a guy's 10 for 11, you would think you won't play him, right? Not our coach. Put Dennis Schroeder on the game. Dennis Schroeder did not have that kind of game tonight. He did not. proceeded to turn the ball over a couple times. It wasn't like that for Dennis. Dennis was cool, but, you want to put him in situations where it makes sense to do so, not when you're sitting down the only person that's doing anything for you. It was only AD and D'Lo really had it going in the first quarter, and we had gotten out to a nice little lead because of it. And it was still a situation where Julius was just as hot on the other side, so we needed to keep up with the scoring. They were obviously in a situation where they were out rebounding us, and we just did not see the fruit in keeping the hot hand on the floor, man. But we did see the fruit in keeping the cold hand on the floor, and we rolled the cold hand all the way to a loss. So that's the way I saw that, man. It's more to it than that. I think our use of Vanderbilt was a bit questionable tonight. We didn't have him down there in the fourth quarter, down the stretch of the game when we had some circumstances where we really needed some rebounding. We went with Rui Hachimura, who had done some nice things offensively, some good things here and there. But as I tell you guys, he at the 4 spot with AD at the 5 spot leaves you at a disadvantage. And so what did we say who had a great game tonight? Isaiah Hartenstein had a great game tonight. Why? Because we didn't have a real actual center banging up against him at any given point tonight at all. Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, and Isaiah Hartenstein basically were going up against power forwards tonight. As I told you guys, when you keep on pretending like Vanderbilt, AD, and Wenyen Gabriel and these guys are centers, Hachimura, you keep acting like they're centers does not make them centers. When they go up against real centers, this is what happens to you. I've been saying this crap for months, and the Lakers saw a prime example of what Rui at the 4 and not playing real centers does against real centers. Look at it. The Knicks is why. That's what happens. This is what happens. And so as the Lakers continue to try to devise ways of getting better, if they don't get themselves a center, you're going to have this problem again in the playoffs. It's going to be the same type of thing against certain teams where they're just going to have they're going to close out well against your dribblers, and they're going to have the players in the interior to stop all that stuff that AD does. And so that's what you saw tonight. AD was neutralized, 8-18. He didn't score like that. He rebounded the ball pretty good. I think he had like 15 boards. But 16 points in a game like this? Nah. I'll give him a pass for the Raptor game because we talked a great deal about how they were taking him out of the game and doing a great job against him to keep him from getting the ball, and we were forcing turnovers trying to get him the ball and it wasn't working, and other people were doing it for us. Tonight, similar. I think they did a good job on AD as well. Like I said, Robinson and those guys had good, defense on him. They played him well. I thought they fronted him well, and they forced him not to have the ball in his hands, and they're doing a good job of showing everybody how best to attack us. And if those other guys beat you, cool. But if they can't beat you, that's a recipe that'll work. So the Raptors did, and it didn't work. Knicks did it, and it did. But it wasn't because we didn't have the people who could beat them. No, it's just because tonight, Darvin decided to lean on the ones who weren't doing anything for him. And so that's what you saw. Lonnie didn't get a single minute out there. Max didn't get a single minute out there. And Troy Brown was 0 for 8. And as I said, I think Malik Beasley might have been like 4 for 15 or something. I don't remember. I only glanced at his stats. This was one of those games where I was so angry that I didn't really want to look at the stats for too long. I just wanted to hurry up and get over here and vent. And I have a lot more colorful language to use, but I'm just not going to do that in this camera. But I'm very angry, man. I'm very angry because I felt like my coach played into the defense's hands, made this game more difficult than it had to be, and as a result, we lost. It's not only his fault, but when he doesn't do things that help himself, of course it makes a good defense play well. It's the same thing I said about Gary Trent against us in the last game. When you shoot poorly, 0 for 9 like he did, you're going to help mask the mistakes that the team is making on the other side. You make it look like we're playing better than we are. And that's what we did with the Knicks by playing Troy Brown and Beasley and letting them jack up 3-point shots to no avail, not rebounding nothing. That's another thing. You got a night where you want to lean on the cold hand, Darvin, but you don't want to give them the rebounders down there to help them. That was the problem. He want to go with Dennis Schroeder, he want to go with Austin Reeves, and then he want to go with Malik Beasley in the same lineup, Rui Hachimura and Anthony Davis. How many times we got to tell this man? You cannot succeed that way, because when things get switched out and you're going up against bigs like they got, R.J. Barrett shooting over small people. Emmanuel Quickly's got a smaller person in front of him a lot of time. You leave yourself without Vanderbilt, and you wonder why they're getting the rebound so many damn times. You leave yourself without Wenyen Gabriel. And you wonder why they rebounded so much. There were opportunities down there for us to take advantage of what it is they were taking advantage of, which was size mismatches. You think we would try to do anything to help ourselves in that way? Hell no, not Darvin Ham. And so just like I told y'all, our record is a reflection of him more than anything else, more than the roster or nothing. Because I tell you, even with the bad roster we had to start the season, there were still things he could have did to make our team better. And he chose to do the opposite. And this was a reflection of that again tonight. No matter how good this roster gets, he gonna find a way to dumb it down and do something he has no business doing, leaving people on the floor who ain't got no business being out there to your loss. That's what it's gonna be, Laker fans. That's why I don't have so much faith in us overall, because I still think it's going to come down to his rotations. That's going to keep us from getting number 18, man. I'm telling you. And that's my problem. I love the roster. And I think a good coach would have won this game tonight. But a Darvin Ham-led team is going to play hard, but he's going to make the game 10 times harder because he's going to do stuff that's going to play right into the defense's hands. And this is yet another Darvin Ham loss. Sorry, y'all. It is. I would love to tell y'all the Lakers just ran out of gas. I would love to tell you the Knicks just played so good and the Lakers played like backside. But at the end of the day, that's not what it was. We could have made a couple extra free throws. But a lot of that stuff was just a schematic disadvantage where a guy like RJ is shooting over a guy like Beasley. You know what I mean? Like literally driving at him and laying the ball up over his head. And so as long as those are the circumstances, as long as that's kind of what you're seeing, and you got to give credit to guys like McBride and Obi Toppin, who also contributed in major ways. I think McBride was really, he was a unsung hero. I don't know who gets the game ball, but he was the one who gave me the most fits tonight watching the game, because he just found a way to steal repeatedly, found a way to rebound properly, found a way to hit the big shot. I think Miles McBride is on the map. Not from a stat standpoint, but from a I'll never see him the same way again standpoint. That's somebody I definitely know is a dangerous player on the defensive side. He's dangerous as hell. He's going to muck up the game for you. And in a 7-game series, he is going to be a problem for somebody. I'm calling it. Thibodeau needs to play Miles McBride about as much as he did tonight every night, because that guy is like Vanderbilt at the 2 spot. I'm telling y'all right now, that's exactly what he is. He is a disruptor of the highest order, it seems, meaning that I don't think there's a game he won't disrupt like he did tonight. It's not a game he won't disrupt that way. He don't have to be shooting well. He don't have to be doing nothing. He's just going to play defense. He's going to take chances, and those chances are going to work out. So I immediately gained a lot of respect for Miles McBride, and I think he has a nice career ahead of him if he can continue to do the stuff that he did tonight that helped his team win. If he wasn't down there, they do not win. I'm telling you right now, between him and Hartenstein, they did all the physical work that made it so that the Lakers could not get going tonight. So those are the 2 players I think were the most difference for us against us tonight. They were the Vanderbilt. And given the fact that our coach barely leaned on Vanderbilt, we didn't have that on our side. Nah. But what we did have was Troy Brown bricking threes every single time he attempted them. All of them. All of them. Like I said, man, I watched this game and was angry the whole second half. I was just cussing the whole second half, y'all. I'm just angry because I know how bad we need to win every basketball game we in. I know the Knicks are not going to be able to beat us most nights. They're not. I know that. They just got through losing 3 straight games, man, against teams that we can beat. The Clippers, the Kings, and the Charlotte Hornets. There should be no reason the Los Angeles Lakers came out there and laid an egg tonight, other than the fact that they just didn't play everybody that could have helped them. We're the deepest team in the league. Why do we have 4 people sitting? Lonnie Walker didn't play. Devon Reed didn't play. What's his name? Max Christie didn't play. And it was one more player that did not get on the floor. And I'm watching. And I'm looking at the guys who are playing ahead of them doing nothing for them. Nothing for us. Malik Beasley has started all the games since we made the trade. And I promise you the man has had 2 good games, man. Just 2. Just 2. What does Austin Reeves need to do to get a starting nod on this damn team, yo? I don't want to hear nothing about how good he comes off the bench. He comes off the bench good because he's good. A good player, you play off the bench, is going to play good. If Donovan Mitchell comes off the bench, he's going to play good. Okay, let's rip the Band-Aid off. If you bring Steph Curry off the bench, he's going to play good. Austin Reeves plays well off the bench because he's damn good. So can we acknowledge that and play the man according to what it is that he's actually doing out there versus what it is that Darvin's hypothetical nonsense about gravity and all this Malik Beasley stuff? When Malik Beasley is a nice player, I'm happy he's here. He can hit shots. He makes our team so much better just by being on the floor. And I agree and think that. But if he's not hitting shots, how much is that gravity really worth? How much detention do they really need to pay him if he's going 1 for 7 every night? At some point in time, you got to say he's only that type of threat if people actually believe he's going to hit the shot. If it gets to a point where they don't have to guard him because he's bricking everything, fam, that gravity ain't gravity at all. So that needs to be understood here, man. Especially when Austin Reeves is shooting over 40% from behind the arc. It's not like he's not gaining that same respect. And if he hits those shots, they're going to give him that gravity. So that for me is just like, Darvin, bro, I don't like feeling as if I have to be so very capped in regards to my natural thoughts about what's being said. But my anger is so disrespectful. That is exactly what's going on here, bro. I have to literally act like I'm feeling a lot better than I am based on what's coming out of my mouth. Because I got a lot more to say, man. This ain't good. I want to see smart rotations. Stuff that just has your instincts telling you, I'm afraid to do this because it's going to lead to me losing. I'm afraid to leave Malik Beasley on RJ Barrett because it's going to lead me to losing. I'm afraid to leave Patrick Beverley on Brandon Ingram because I'm afraid it's going to lead me to losing. These are things that I'm just not going to do because I don't want to lose. You see what I'm saying? For example, you got 20 seconds left on the clock. Closing basketball game. Down by, 4? I'm going to foul right away. Do you know why? Because I don't want to lose. Do you know it took us 14 seconds before we fouled anyone? Now, I get it. Trying to force the 8 second, over the line rule. Okay, 8 seconds. What happened after that? We didn't get the force 8 seconds. Okay, fine. What the hell happened after that? Why didn't we foul the first person we saw? Let all that time go off the clock and didn't foul a single soul. Clock management has cost us yet another basketball opportunity. Missed free throws, poor rotations, and clock management. We were going to be 500 if we would have won this game. We have not been 500 all year long. We started the season 0 for 1. We ain't been 500 all year. This was our chance to finally become mediocre as a record. And couldn't do it because we lost this game the same way we lost all them other games we lost. Darvin Ham and his choices. That's it. You can give credit to the other team. That's why I started this video off giving the credit to the other team, because they deserve more credit than Darvin does for this loss. They deserve more credit based on what they did. Thibodeau's game plan defensively on us was why we lost. But there are always things you can do. There's always a mirror to look at and be held accountable. And that's what I'm doing. I'm holding us accountable for what we did not do. And we did not rotate our rotations properly once again. Leaning on minutes mentality and hypothetical circumstances instead of what you're looking at. Determining what you're going to do. So that's what it was, man. We let the Knicks out rebound us. And they shot the field goal game just good enough. They had 2 or 3 more field goals made, same attempted, something weird like that. But because they shot the free throw so well, and we shot it so poorly and so fewer, that was the difference. That was the difference. And so for me, it's like, I want to give credit to RJ Barrett, who did a great job of just driving. Anytime he had a chance, he was slashing at the rim. That really was a source of trouble for us. I think he ended up with over 30 points doing that. I don't even think he hit a 3. It kind of makes it even more impressive when you consider it. And then Julius Randle, actually he did. RJ did hit a three. I'm tripping, but it wasn't many. Julius Randle had an excellent game, scoring the ball, bounced back greatly from that Clipper loss where he went 5 for 24. Played great against his old team. I thought Josh Hart played well, hit some big shots, did some big things. A lot of Knicks. Emmanuel Quickly, I thought he danced on us real good. He was real tough to guard. That kid is going to get better and better. 15 points for him. I thought he scored even more. And just a good bench game overall. If you look at the bench for the Knicks, it was like 8-7, 8-7. A bunch of guys contributed in the scoring column just enough to keep them over the top to win a game on the road that they really needed to win. This road trip was going to go bad for them. And they got the last victory here. And, as far as the Lakers are concerned, we go on a road trip now, a 2-game road trip where we play the New Orleans Pelicans and the Rockets. Hopefully we can bounce back, play better. But when you look at the standings and the Lakers don't make the 6th seed, or the Lakers do whatever it is they're going to do that ain't going to be good, this is yet another one of them stupid games that we're going to remember. Indy, Boston, Philly, Portland, Charlotte, both of them. Heck, the other Philly game too, both Philly games. And Dallas, both. There was 2 out of the 4 Dallas games. We ain't played the 4th one yet. 2 out of the 3 Dallas games are trash. What else? We lost so many games like that, man. So many games that I can contribute to all of the same stuff that we lost to tonight, man. And so when people start saying, the Lakers are the hottest thing in town, and I start thinking even myself, we're a contender, all these different thoughts come to my head, and then I just look at Darvin Ham and I say, how else am I supposed to look at this? But yet another heartbreak on the way because of the inconsistencies of certain things that this team is prone to have happen. Inconsistency of Troy Brown. Inconsistency of Malik Beasley. Inconsistency of Anthony Davis's health. Inconsistency of LeBron James' health. Inconsistency of Dennis Schroeder's. This is going to be the problem with the Lakers. If y'all really want to know what the problem is, it's not the stuff that we can rely upon that we should be concerned with. It's the stuff that you can't rely upon that you should be concerned with. It's the volatility of some of these dudes that you just don't know what the hell you're going to get from them from night to night. And those are the people Darvin often loves to lean on the most. Not the guys going to play well, like Austin Reeves. He going to ball out. Wenyen Gabriel, 9 out of 10 times he going to ball out. Nah, not the consistent dudes. Lonnie Walker, you know what you're going to get from Lonnie if you put him at the 2 and let him shoot. He's going to get 20 points or more every night. Those are 20 points we could have used tonight. Probably more than that. And it's just like, nah, Darvin don't want none of that. He don't want nothing to do with that, man. Give me the guy that may miss 12 shots tonight. That's who we need to see on the floor tonight. Could he possibly miss 8 shots? Could he possibly give up 7 offensive rebounds? Yeah, roll with him. Put him on the floor. Could he possibly turn the ball over more than once? Yes, get him on there. That's what we need. I swear that's how Darvin be doing these rotations, man, because nothing else works. He certainly ain't leaning into success. It's obvious he's not leaning into success. So I'm done, man. I've been done. I couldn't be more done. I was ready to fire this man 2 months ago. So I don't know what to say. This is just another drop in the bucket for me. I'm tired, man. I want a good coach. I got a good roster. Give me a good coach, man. I'm tired of this. Keep losing the same type of ways, and it's always just mistakes, man. Respectfully saying, just mistakes. Ain't got to make it more colorful than that. People making choices and they're leading you to failing. So when you look at that record, you see we're yet again comfortably below 500. You see the Clippers step in front of you, the Timberwolves step in front of you, Pelicans possibly step in front of you. You look at all this, you understand that all you were was a couple substitutions away from winning the game. Earlier, Vanderbilt, never subbing out D'Lo, making sure Austin Reeves was well accounted for most of the game, keeping AD on the floor with D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves a little more. These things would have worked. Rui Hachimura, love him to death. He had a good plus-minus. Maybe slipping him to the 3 like we talk about every single day. And maybe moving Troy Brown out of the lineup when he's going 10% from behind the arc. No, excuse me, 0%. 0. He didn't hit one. He did not. So, for me, I'm done, man. Salute the Kobe minute. Spike Lee walks away from L.A. happy after all. He didn't have a good Clipper game, but I'm sure he's happy tonight. He was sitting next to Denzel Washington, boycotting the Oscars together. But we didn't give Denzel nothing. We didn't give him nothing. Because he a Laker fan. He walked out of there miserable. So far as I could tell, man, the Lakers, for us to be so close to where we need to be, and then to drop a game like this in this fashion at home, just makes you want to take certain things back you said about this roster. Not even the roster. Excuse me. No, not the roster. The roster's fine. A good head coach with a great basketball acumen is going to get a win like this. It's not a problem. This ain't that difficult. Drop coverage against this team. Do you know how many 3-point shots the Knicks stepped into tonight? Do you know how many open 3-point shots that they missed? Drop coverage. This type of stuff, man. So I just thought Darvin Ham cost us yet another victory, man. This is a rookie coach doing stuff that just doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make sense to a lot of people, it seems. And, we lost because of it, man. Lost because of that. Or rather, we contributed to our own failure. We lost because of the Knicks. We lost to the Knicks. The Knicks, they did what they were supposed to do. But there were things we could have did to make ourselves infinitely more competitive against what it is they were giving us. Especially when the way Mitchell Robinson was playing on the offensive end, missing layups and stuff like airballing layups. You couldn't take advantage of the mental edge there when you had a player that was going 10 for 11, Darvin Ham. We never recovered from that substitution. We never recovered from the substitution of getting D'Lo out of the game when he had no fouls and had missed no shots. We never recovered from that stupid stuff. BDF 44, I thank you all for watching.